How's it going, guys? I wanted to show you this real quick. I was out at the ranch this weekend, as you've probably already seen, and I found this guy. Okay, it's a really cool. You can tell it's worked all the way around. It's pretty thick, fairly large. Okay, and I've actually got another one here. This is from a previous find on a couple hundred miles away from where the ranch is at a different place. Same thing, worked down to a nice little axe kind of head point there. And if you look at most prehistoric axes, they're actually like smooth and not out of flint. Generally, they're like a heavy, smooth rock with they'll have like a line down here in the middle. And I've never found those because here where I live, we had Lippin Apaches and Calutecans, and I'm not sure which band of Indians makes those others, but I'm pretty sure it's most. But apparently, the Calutecans and Lippins like these, what they call a hand axe. And I had to show this, okay, because when I found it, I thought it was broken. I'm like, darn, that would have been awesome to have the other side of that. I figured it was maybe like a hatchet on this side and maybe something over here, maybe a point or something, like a battle tomahawk or something. I was like, man, if I just had the other half of that, that'd be awesome. But when I got home, and this is my collection, okay, these are all things I found. I can vouch for their legitimacy by the places I found them, and the fact that I pulled them out of the ground with my own two hands, okay? So that could be like a scraper or a small knife, bird point, just your standard small arrowhead, okay, and then, God, I forget what they call it, pertinalis maybe, right here. That's crafted so well. I mean, it's almost wafer thin. It's ridiculous. Too bad it doesn't have the points on each end, but still, this is an older kind of archaic, primitive, first starting to make arrowheads design. And then this is, another, again, I forget the name of this design and which tribes made these, but this is really rare, high dollar item if you were to try to buy one. And I mean, you can just tell when you look at these, the quality of craftsmanship here is just bar none, okay? And these are all pieces. You can tell, missing the point, missing the point. This guy here, he was worked all on this side, so that's going toward the point. This is like a scraper or a small knife or something. That edge has been worked, and then it's flattened on this side, so you could put it, go along the hide. Again, another one, missing the point, missing the point, missing the little fin there. This one's missing his point, missing his back half. And this was probably one they were working on. They wanted to try and make one, and it broke on them while they were making it or something, because it's just too unworked. It's too big. Something happened during the process, and they ditched it. More than likely. This one is neat, but it's broke off, and I think it's broke off anyway. And it's a really cool little artifact because it could be broke off, or it could be a very primitive one. Another one kind of like that, no tip, probably broke off. But I mean, look how thin they work those. It's amazing. And then again, missing the tip, missing the other fin. Now, and then this guy here. This is probably a piece of when they were working on it because it's flat on one side. That or it's just a uni-face, not a biface like these others are worked on both sides. But I think what it was that was on the rock. They were working it, and they needed to move this, and they chipped that off. And so like I found a piece of the chip that they were working on. Okay, so those are all guaranteed real by me. I mean, I found them, I pulled them out of the ground. And that doesn't mean they're necessarily real. If you ever read the book The Sun by Philip Mayer, he got taken by Comanche and grew up with them and learned how to do this. And he jokes in that book that he would make arrowheads in his spare time and leave them in a big box. And his daughter asked him one time, "Why are you doing that?" And he said, "Well, one day I'm going to throw arrowheads all over this ranch, and people are going to tell great stories about what happened here, and really it was just some silly white man." But he was, if you read the book, he really was a Comanche. I'd be honored to have one of his arrowheads. But it's about craftsmanship, okay? That's how you can tell all this is real. The craftsmanship, how that is perfectly flat. See if I can get it to view. On one side, okay? And then this other side has been worked down to a nice sharp edge. So you could slide this, you could, you can do a lot of, and there's even, if you look, there's a dimple right there for my thumb. I think sometimes it's about finding how to use the tool to understand the tool, right? So if you had it, you can kind of see my finger fits in that notch, my finger fits in that notch, my thumb fits in that notch, and now I can work that tool. So that might have been how it was, and I can't say, but when you pick them up, you can sometimes feel it. Now, one thing I want to show you, come over here. Okay, all these are from an estate sale, and this is pretty rock. You'll see this is decorative. Hey, I didn't believe they were real, but what I paid less than $1 a piece. I couldn't pass it up, and I got this guy for free. But if you look at that, let me grab this one over here. If you look at these two arrowheads, which one of those do you think is real? This guy's huge, and the bigger they are, the less craftsmanship it takes. Look at that thing. I mean, that is wafer thin. So I don't think these are real. That's just my personal opinion, and I can take, here's another one of these I found. Grab any one of these, put them next to each other. The one on top is thinner, and that's the real one. Okay, so all these, I'm actually going to I'll probably put it on the channel, but I'm in the process of making a homemade bow. It takes a long time. You got to cut a stave. I've got a stave of orange sage, and I'm going to use these to make my arrows. But coming back over here one last time, I'm almost done with you. I wanted to show you this hand axe, okay? Because without seeing a few things here, you don't understand how much craftsmanship goes into this. You see this there's like a divot right here. That means they hit it here or here and took out this whole chunk with such precision that it fits my palm. Okay? Now, what's really crazy is when I bring my thumb over it, this ridge is exactly in the joint of my thumb. Okay, so that was the first clue. Okay, my hand probably goes there. Well, look at that flat spot there. What does it look like that's for? Maybe that's a finger rest, huh? Okay, so, wait. Now, I'm using it this way, and my joint of my thumb there, that first digit, is still over that crack. And guess what? This is still holding the inside palm of my hand. And this flat edge here almost fits perfectly up against the roundness of my finger. So, okay, that's one side. Now you turn it over, and you see that I've got a flat here and another divot here. Well, if I curl this finger under, it fits perfectly into that divot. If I bring this one down, it fits perfectly into this flat area. I never have to put my hand on any part of the worked object other than this one line to make a bend. That's it. And now I can use this, okay? Now, it's one thing to find one of these and say, okay, that's awesome. I think this is what happened. But I have two, remember? Two different sized items from two different makers from hundreds of miles apart. Check this one out. Remember that flat side? It's back, okay? And these were found cities apart in Texas, a couple hours drive. So if I do the same thing I did with this one, put my thumb, whoop, there's that ridge again right there. And then what do I have here? I have a little divot for my palm right there, just like the other one. I've got another cut for my finger to go into there. Okay, my thumb comes up, goes over that hump. Now remember the other one on the back side, it was flat. You never had to put your finger anywhere it had been worked. Well, this one's different because the maker of this one made the flat just like the other guy, but because this is smaller and he knew his finger was going to run over, he cut a notch there. Now look, if I put my fingers all in the right place, my lower finger is just naturally right in that notch. And then this one, just like the other one, only touches that flat. I never have to touch any part of the worked material from here to here. And this one is, you can tell it's a finer chip. This is actually a sharper than what this guy is, but this guy is a lot rougher. I would imagine this is for like bigger woodworking stuff, and this is probably for smaller, maybe cleaning game and stuff like that, because you can do a lot with these. But I just could not believe how much you can realize that they were doing with just chipping rocks. Isn't that impressive? I really, really thought that was impressive. So that's my Indian artifact collection, and I've got more. I didn't pull it all out, but this is the Texas stuff right here that I've got, and I'm happy to have it. You'll hear me say that a lot. I'm pretty thankful for everything I have, but look at that. Isn't that awesome? Kind of another prehistoric kind of stuff. This is older. This stuff is more advanced. It's cool to have the 3 different kinds that you're going to normally see, or 4 or 5, whatever. And then all my chips, I keep them just because somebody's hard work went into that. I think it's neat. And then, man, these hand axes, just really cool. And just, can you imagine how long it's going to take you to cut down a tree with this thing? I don't know, but that's at one point in time. That's how they were doing it. That's probably, a little bit before people got real good at shaping rock, But real stuff, fake stuff. Real stuff, probably fake stuff. All right, guys, take it easy. Alex from Texas saying stay smart, stay safe, stay looking. If you appreciate it, go treasure hunting.